Alright, welcome back to another episode of Broke Boy Melee.
Broke Boy Melee 2, we are doing this bullshit again because you guys told us you really enjoyed it last time. So here we are. We're going to pit more characters against each other in a battle to the death.
Yes, and we are here with Tyler.
Hello everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Super Broke Boys Melee. Now this is actually Super Broke Boys Melee 2, known as Super Broke Boys Brawl, which it doesn't say on that screen. Now this is the show where we answer the hard-pressing questions that you didn't ask, but deserve the answer to. We've got a whole new roster of characters ready to battle to the death. Whoever wins this bracket will go on to the Tournament of Champions, where they will face Mr. Dwight Schrute and the winners of all the other brackets that we do to become the ultimate character.
For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, we will briefly re-explain the rules. If you haven't, you should go watch the first episode and get caught up.
Which will be linked in a card right here.
To re-explain the rules, basically what happened is I nominated a bunch of fictional characters from any medium. Josh nominated a bunch of fictional characters from any medium. Tyler even threw in a couple of his own as our moderator. We sent them over to Tyler. We don't know who each other picked. We don't know who Tyler picked, so it's pretty blind. And Tyler randomized a bracket of these fictional characters, and we are going to argue over who would win in a battle to the death. If we agree, that character automatically wins. If we disagree, we get to make an argument for our character, and Tyler, our objective moderator, will decide based on our arguments who wins and moves on to the next round.
If you don't agree with the matchup, tell us why in the comments.
Please let us know. All that being said, let's toss it over to Tyler to let us know who our round one contenders are. Tyler.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Now, the interesting thing about this particular round is that though the characters were selected at random, they all conform to one very specific theme. And so because of that, we have our very first themed episode of Super Broke Boys. And the theme for tonight will be villains. Every character tonight is an antagonist in their respective series or franchise or medium.
Antagonists. Okay. All right. We didn't even know this would be a theme. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so coming at you guys live from the Broke Boy Replay Center, we have our very first matchup, Princess Fiona versus Jerry the Mouse.
I thought, is Princess Fiona considered an antagonist?
Depends on who you ask.
It's a very loose theme.
We ready?
Okay.
All right, on three. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you picked
Wow.
Princess. Okay.
I picked Princess Fiona. Wow.
I really thought we were both going Jerry.
Yeah, so
on
it
this
is
one.
off to the races already.
Jerry arguably has super strength. He's very cunning, has set many traps.
That's true. Jerry is ruthless.
He's
We
OG.
can agree on that. But I cannot stress enough that fight scene in the first Shrek movie where Princess Fiona took down all of the merry men. She was like fighting like literally Neo from the Matrix, just laid everybody out. She did that as normal Fiona. So imagine her being able to do that in ogre form.
That's true. A lot to consider for you, Tyler. What are you thinking?
I'll tell you guys, this is going to be a difficult decision. What the refs are looking at tonight is whether or not Princess Fiona would be able to take on a creature that small. The refs can go either way on this one, and that I'll tell you, they're watching that replay very carefully right now to see which way it goes. They want to make sure they make the right call on this one. They're still thinking about it right now. Jerry is a killer. I don't want to do Jerry a disservice, but I think I'm going to have to go with Princess Fiona on this one.
All right. Princess Fiona wins round one. We're going to round two.
All right, for round two of Super Broke Boys Melee, Swiper the Fox versus the Winter Soldier.
Oh my God.
All right. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Winter
Soldier. Really?
Well, here's the thing. Without Dora there to explain to the Winter Soldier that all she has to do is say swipe or no swiping, that nigga Swiper gonna take whatever he wants. He's gonna take whatever weapon the Winter Soldier has, and it's over. It's
That's
over.
true.
after
He
that.
could swipe his arm, too.
He's gonna swipe his arm gone, man. He's swiping his arm.
Listen, if it comes down to hand-to-hand combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier takes this no problem,
yeah,
right? We can all
absolutely.
agree. Question really becomes...
The question becomes, who ends up with the arsenal?
Exactly. Swiper's able to steal from a 6-year-old girl and her monkey. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to get the drop on the Winter Soldier.
Well, thank you, Broke Boys. Now, I got to tell you, the refs are taking a look at this one really as more of a formality, more to appease the fans. I think this is going to be a pretty clear-cut, open and shut, cut and dry case. I think the only legitimate defense against Swiper is swipe or no swiping. Now, at the same time, Bucky, we know, very skillful fighter, but is he as strong when he no longer has his arm, or he no longer has weapons available to him? Another factor that we need to consider is the humanity of Bucky. This is somebody who I think would potentially hesitate before killing an innocent creature, whereas Swiper has never had any friends. You just can't afford to out there in the jungle. And so I think Swiper takes this one definitively. I think there's going to be no hesitation on his part whatsoever. Yes, in a hand-to-hand fight, Bucky would excel, but I think Swiper has the skill set and tools to really take this thing to the next level.
So, according to science, Swiper, the fox, has taken out the Winter Soldier.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a roller coaster.
I mean, to be fair, it makes sense.
All right, so already we've seen it's been a tightly contested bracket, and I expect the matchups are only going to get more heated from here. So going down to the floor, we've got our next matchup, Hannibal Lecter
Ooh.
versus Remy the Rat.
Tyler, I thought you said that these were all antagonists.
Everyone's a villain in somebody's story.
Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter. Look, if Hannibal eats humans,
That's
he's gonna eat a rat.
Well, I got to tell you, this one's actually an upset. I expected Remy to go much farther in this bracket, particularly in this matchup. But you know, that's a real beauty of this job is you see all sorts of outcomes and upsets, and that's really why I keep doing this.
Let's toss it up to round 4. Who do we got?
For our final matchup of round 1 of Super Broke Boys Melee, we have maybe a fan favorite, Nacho the Luchador.
Ooh.
Versus Gru from Despicable Me.
No, what?
Again, hang on. Nacho is not an antagonist.
He is to Catholicism.
Oh man. Okay, so Nacho versus Gru.
Man, I was not happy I had to make that decision.
Yeah, that was a tough call. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Gru versus
Ooh,
Nacho.
Nacho.
Okay. They are both very capable. Nacho is a luchador. Gru is obviously a evil mastermind. Interestingly enough, that they both have a soft spot for children.
Also true.
Which
yeah, they're very similar characters.
That was
very
the problem.
similar.
I think Gru still has a little bit of an itch to be the biggest and baddest. That's what it came down to for me, and so I won't even go into the weapons and things like that. I think that's they're both formidable opponents.
So my argument for Nacho, he's got something to prove. And he always has, right? Like that's his main thing. I think Gru has been softened a bit, as we saw in the sequels, in Despicable Me 2, Despicable Me 3, having had daughters. We see him soften up a little bit. We see he's not heartless. Now, granted, of course, Nacho isn't either, but Nacho will kill a motherfucker for those orphans. We know he will.
Yeah.
He's got the eagle powers, first of all. But whether you believe in them or not, he believes in them. And that's the important thing. And on top of that, we're also talking about this man has the Lord on his side.
Really, it comes down to who wants it more. And
That's true. That's true.
I'm just not sure that I know, to be honest. So it's going to the moderator.
Thank you, Broke Boys. Now, I'll tell you, this is another one of those matchups that, as an audience member, you love to see. As a referee, you don't want to have one of these in your hands, because either way, one very talented, very passionate competitor is going to have to go home tonight. Or die. And so... This is a tough one. And I'll tell you, I think, in terms of the raw matchup, I think, on paper, Gru wins 10 out of 10 times. Now, On the flip side, though, the real question that is going to be hanging in the minds of not just the refs, but also all of our fans tonight, is that of the power of will, as you guys so brilliantly put it. Nacho doesn't stand a chance. And if there's one thing we know about Nacho, that's when he really elevates. That's when he thrives.
Yes, 100%. It's that underdog mentality. Let us not forget he took down Ramses.
Gru, I think, took down the moon, if I remember correctly. Here's the thing. My heart wants to say Nacho. And the young Catholic boy inside of me also wants to say Nacho. If I'm to use the same logic that I have used if I'm to use the same science that I've used for all of the previous rounds, we have to look at this as realistically as we can. I'm thinking Gru is blowing up that entire arena if it means taking out his opponent, and so I'm gonna have to go with Gru. It's rough. It's regrettable. I think any other bracket, I think this would have been the finals.
It doesn't feel like a win.
It doesn't feel like
a win.
I think we all lost tonight.
You hate to see a fighter with that sort of spirit go down.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so for our next round, we have Princess Fiona versus Swiper the Fox.
All right, you ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I was going.
Yeah. Swiper only took down the Winter Soldier because he was able to
Because he had
swipe his
weapons.
arsenal.
Yep, that was
He was able to swipe his arsenal. Fiona doesn't have an arsenal to swipe.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty clear-cut victory. And so we're going to go right into the next round.
All right, let's move on.
All right, and so for our second and final match of the semifinals, we have Hannibal Lecter versus Gru.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gru came out of round 1, and he found out about this sick game that he is a pawn in. And he found out about Nacho's orphans back home. And now Gru he's fighting for them too.
I have a far less conceptual answer. Look, Hannibal Lecter, he's still an old man. I still will stand by he can take down a rat. But he's going up against a supervillain here with all types of weaponry.
All right, Tyler, this is the championship round.
For the finals, we've got Gru versus Princess Fiona.
All right, sound 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Ooh.
Go.
All right. The final
All right.
round is always a toss-up.
All right.
I'm
Gru is just coming in. The man shrunk the moon. He was one of the greatest villains of all time. He's got the tech, he's got the weapons to do it, and he's got the intelligence to do it. It's got to mean something that he beat Nacho.
That's fair. I'm still sticking with Fiona. We've seen her pretty much decimate her first 2 rounds. Gru, I think, is a little battle weary at this point. Like that fight with Nacho took it out of him. But Fiona has just been coasting through these rounds. Just taking out the competition each step of the way. We keep talking about how Gru is winning largely because of his weaponry. That is really the main number 1 leg up that he's got here. He's got his tech. I think Fiona having the fight that she has, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that she can dodge bullets, she can dodge shrink rays. I think it's going to be tough to hit her with any of that weaponry. Let's not forget Fiona has children too.
Yeah, but have you seen them? For me, it's really the kind of the same matchup as before, where you have someone who's going to be technologically equipped and very well prepared, and then you have someone who just possesses insane physical prowess. I got to go with Gru on this one.
Wow.
And the factor for me is that Gru is also very intelligent. I feel like he would anticipate, if he knew he was going to be facing a physical fighter, which he's already done, I think he's got the power of decoys on his side. I think he would send her after something that isn't actually him, and then it would become some form of a trap. Very tough one, very dangerous match, but I think your Super Broke Boy Brawl champion is going to have to be Gru.
Wow. So Gru.
Wow.
Broke Boys Melee.
Gru.
Number 2.
Takes the number 2 spot for Broke Boy Melee.
that's it. That's Broke Boys Melee. The next one we are talking about doing for Broke Boy Melee 3. We don't know when it will come out, but it is going to be sidekicks.
All sidekicks.
Only supporting characters and sidekicks.
So if you've got a secondary character that you'd like to see,
The bracket's not made, so you can let us know who you want to see.
exactly. We don't want to see James Bond in this next bracket. We want to see somebody like Ron Weasley. You know what I mean? We'll toss it back to the ref one more time. Tyler, is there anything you'd like to leave people with tonight?
Hug your loved ones tonight.
You heard it from the man himself. Hug your loved
This
ones.
was a deadly, deadly round of this game.
I hope you guys all have a great night, and we will see you in the next video.
Dun, 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 dun.